every now and then I'll see somebody who puts out a video on YouTube, uh, I guess creators, different tips. What do you do? How to build up your CPM and PPM and your subs and your likes. What do you do and how do you do this? Well, here's one for me, and I'm going to break my rule. Don't talk about BRICS. Don't talk about international. Don't talk about globalists. Don't talk about the world. Don't talk about geography. Don't talk about the news other than the most obvious, no blank stuff available, unless and until you find someone who maybe, maybe there's a niche argument. I am a product of the United States schools, and I, whatever, and the news, I've been around here, and I went to very good schools growing up and all this stuff, and for some reason, and I hold up my Dollar Tree globe here, which I love. We only care about us. This other side means nothing. The names of countries, who they are, what they mean. We have an idea, kind of the UN, sort of G7, kind of. The global South, nothing. And BRICS, the notion of BRICS, the acronym, it's actually an acronym. People sometimes use abbreviation or initialism as an acronym. They think ATM is an acronym. No, it's an abbreviation. BRICS is like radar. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. What does this even mean? This was one of the biggest news stories, and the Biden administration is promoting chest feeding in men, ignoring Lahaina, ignoring Hawaii, and Americans walk around clueless. Why? Because of the dearth of information, interest, study, or whatever. Let me explain this to you, and let me give you, maybe, if anything, what I want to do with this is to promote the autodidact in you, the self-taught, the student, so you will go and learn of this. Learn of this yourself. Do you hear me? Learn of this. That's all. That's all I want. I want you to go, because you're not going to get it on Fox News. They're going to be talking about mugshots and how much Trump weighs and Vivek Ramaswamy and some stupid new faux country music guy who, sings about the obvious. I like to breathe. Fantastic. To number one, the purity of this. We're lost. And by the way, I've never considered myself a part of this, but the conservatives and the oh my God, and the Republicans gone. So let me just give you a little bit of a break here. Let me ask you to do a couple of things. First, please subscribe to this channel. You know you have to do this. Please like the video. Please hit that little bell so you're notified of new streams and the like. And let me also tell you about this website you must commit to yourself. It's called preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. This is called emergency food preparation that you should have. And right now, you can get a 3-month emergency food supply kit, saving $200 that will last 25 years. It's for 90 days. You must have one of these per person in your home. And let me tell you why. There was a time when a lot of folks, maybe like you, who said, this is nuts. These prepper types are crazy. They're talking about floods and locusts. I don't know what they're, some biblical, some eschatological horror show. That's over with. Your government has forgotten Lahaina yet. Do you know how many kids are still missing? Nobody knows. Nobody talks about it. But like I said, Biden's talking about chest feeding and things that don't matter. You've got the world, you've got BRICS meeting, which I'm going to talk about. And if you happen to be on the short end of the stick, the next time there's anything, there's going to be a food shortage. Listen to me, and your government is going to do nothing. There's going to be no FEMA. There's going to be no booty giggity giggity. Nobody. You're going to be on your own. Ukraine, well, theoretically, they'll do okay. The next time there's a fire, the next time there's a Lahaina, the next time there's a Maui, the next time there's this California earthquake, the next Hillary or tornado or hurricane, the next time there's the Washington State fires, the next time there's fires, all these fires, conflagration everywhere in Canada with orange skies in New York. The next time there's some kind of a ransomware where all the gas stations are shut down. The next time there's a supply chain glitch. The next time there's a trucker strike. Food is going to shut down. Stores are going to shut down. And Biden and his folks and whoever it is are going to do nothing. And you're on your own. And then they're going to say, well, you should have thought about it. But I thought that was crazy. I thought that was prepper. Well, maybe you should have paid attention. Maybe those people were right. Maybe the people who said it might be a good idea to have emergency food, go to your garage. Look what you're storing. You got a canoe in there, for God's sake. What? You don't have food? Well, no, that seemed crazy. You've got a bike that nobody uses. What? Preparewithlionel.com. It's over. It's a new world. All this stuff, forget what you used to do. That was 5 years ago, 10 years. Everybody better be a prepper. You know what the opposite of a prepper means? Dead. It's that simple, because nobody's going to be here to help you. Nobody. Every man for himself. Sorry. Preparewithlionel.com. Look what they've got. Do the right thing. Save yourself and your family. Sorry to be so brutal, but it's true. Now, let me explain to you our problem with being an American. We think we were it. Right now, as we speak, I'm looking at this and I'm listening to everybody you can imagine. Some of the best stuff on YouTube. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. I'm looking at this right now. And the BRICS, this is about 2009. It started. Yep, 2009. And we now have, we're not in this, of course. We now have, the new countries are, of course, let me see here. We got Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the Emirates. Coming up, applying for membership, Algeria, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Honduras, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Nigeria, Palestine, Senegal, Thailand, Venezuela, and Vietnam. There was some talk the other day about Ethiopia. Because Ethiopia, you have emerging countries. You've got countries with raw minerals. Oh my God. And you've got this man walking around who can't pick up a beach chair, as President Trump so ably noted, who doesn't know anything about this. You've got revolt, you've got revolution in Africa. I know people are saying, why do I care about this? Because see, we always think that Africa is what, some kind of Tarzan movie or something, or what do Americans think this is? I don't understand. I don't get it. You've got development banks now. You've got Putin who's telling people, hey, listen, we'll take care of you. Any problem you have with any grain problems you have, Africa, we'll take care of you. You've got folks who are now revolting against regimes that used to be friendly towards us. You had the president of the United States basically telling the world, I'm going to cut off IMF funding if Ukraine doesn't back off in prosecuting and investigating my son's rotten Burisma thing. Because they look at the United States, this is called this wild hegemony, this unipolar. See, you use words like this. Ask an American what an oligarch is, but unipolarity. Putin's been talking about unipolarity forever. We don't talk about that. We talk about, gee, did you see Trump's mugshot? Did he scowl? Did that look like a scowl to you? BRICS. They were talking about the BRICS internet, BRICS banking. Remember when I'm asking this because I know nobody's going to remember. Remember when Hillary was talking about that was it the Malaysian flight right around the time there was talk about BRICS banks, BRICS bank entry, and people were getting real conspiratorial. It was such a good conspiracy theory, nobody understood it. Nobody understood it. See, the world looks at us right now as being too much, as being this hegemon, this big bad badass that tells people what to do, that controls everything. I'm making it very, very simple for you, that controls everything. And you have a dutiful, subservient well, not parasitic, but actually maybe the host, maybe the shadow government basically took over the press. But you've got people who are themselves in the position, in this position, very frankly, of acting so, I don't know what the word is. They're creating now these storylines about China. They're doing to China what they did in Japan. When Japan was doing great, they went to the media and said, okay, start cranking out the news, destroy the image of Japan. Their economies are crushed. How many times you read about story Japan, China, empty buildings, and you believe that? I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything. How about the Russian sanctions? The Russian sanctions, we're going to bring Putin to his knees. The ruble's going to be in rubble. And blah, 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 blah. Nothing. Nothing. This old geezer doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't care. He's on his way to wherever. He doesn't care about this because he's not in charge. Just like the Republican Party's not in charge. You've got two groups. You've got the regular folks, kind of the Trump crowd, the voters, and then you've got the money folk, the big donors, and those people are into another world. Most Republicans, if you ask them, want to say, listen, we have always suffered when we don't understand the implications of this. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, BRICS. She's a BRICS house. She's mighty. Remember? Look at this up. Look at this. Do yourself a favor for the first time. Look it up. You've got a phone. You've got Wikipedia. That'll get you started. Read. You're not going to hear about this in the New York Post. Nobody cares about this. Nobody's going to care about this Daily Mail. Maybe. This is the Great Reset. This is one thing that Klaus Schwab got right. And let me tell you something. You don't have to know every little aspect of it. You just, as an American in particular, have to wake up, get your head out of and understand that everything does not surround us. We have pissed off the world. And there are people who want nothing more than to teach us a lesson. And they've never, even under George W. Bush, people thought, wow, these neocon lunatics, they thought that was bad. Not like this. You've got a president who basically pissed off Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, who basically said, oh, he's a killer. And what? He wouldn't even take Biden's phone call. Forget Russia. Forget China. Who else are we going to tick off? Who? There's no foreign relations. Look at the crew who's running this country. And it all starts right now. I cannot believe this. There is more information by this administration regarding National Chest Feeding Month. And by the way, while we're on the subject, do you know how many kids they say are missing in thousands in Lahaina? They're just going to forget it. You're going to let them forget it. I know you are, because you don't have any choice. You're not a bad person, but frankly, this isn't your game. Because most Americans sit back, just like people do. They just swipe and let the information come to them. They don't research. They don't independently determine the focus of their, I'm going to stop right now. I don't even want, nobody's going to watch this. I understand it. I know it's dry, right? BRICS. What? China. I want to talk about Trump. I want to talk about his weight and if he's fat and that's what I want to talk about. I don't understand this. I don't understand it. I'm going to try one more time and tell you. You better go to preparewithlionel.com. Look, do yourself a favor. Go to preparewithlionel.com. Just look at what they've got. Look at what they've got and ask you, do you have anything in your cupboard right now that can last 90 days like this? Stackable? Look, you've heard the routine. This is serious stuff. I never thought I would ever be selling, emergency food for an impending emergency. You know what I mean? It's like carbon monoxide detector. I mean, you're not planning on it, but just in case there's a little, you got an alarm. This is coming. This isn't just in case, it's when. All right, dear friends. I'd love to see what you think about this. So do me a favor and comment as you see fit.